Welcome to Bentley's Backwoods Bushcrafting. And I figured I'd sit down and chat for a while. I don't have any idea why anybody would be interested in listening to me talk, but I'm going to do it anyway. So we're just going to sit here and have a conversation. Why am I into prepper, survival, into the world stuff? Well, probably for the same reason that I got into martial arts most of my life. Because I wanted the practical, effective usefulness of the training. When I trained martial arts, I never cared for the dojo style karate, quote unquote karate, that they taught in dojos. To me, personally, it's useless in the street. Completely 100% useless. Not only is it useless, it's detrimental. Doing that dojo stuff in the street is going to get you hurt. But I probably shouldn't even go there. Of course, my wife says I shouldn't do these particular videos, because she says if you can't say anything nice, you shouldn't say anything all. Well, if that's the case, I'd never speak a word the rest of my life. But I got into real combat, street-oriented skills, which is why I think I leaned towards the end of my martial arts career. I leaned towards the MMA stuff. Now, back when it first started, back when I got into it, when it very first started, it was as real as people were going to get, unless, of course, they start the gladiatorial, the Roman gladiatorial battles again. But it was as realistic as it would ever get, as far as I see it at this point in history. Then it became manipulated and governed, just like everything else, screwed it all up. But enough said on that. My prepper survival stuff, and I have to admit, I do believe, along with my martial arts, because my martial arts calmed me down. It relaxed me. It gave me an outlet for all of my anger and all of my psychological defectiveness. It really gave me an outlet that was legitimate, that was legal, that it helped. It really did. And when I retired, I lost part of that, and I think that's why in the last year or so I've been so stressed, is because I don't have that outlet anymore. But in all honesty, my body just got to the point where I just couldn't do it anymore. Plus, I just truly mentally burnout, lost that dedication that I had. Part of that went away, and when that went away, it just kind of went downhill from there. But with the survival stuff, in all honesty, I do not believe that I'll ever need it, or that I'll ever use it in a real life scenario. I'm pushing 50, and for these last 49, 50 years, I've never in my entire life ever been so far away from society that I could not survive a day, 2 days at best, without running into something or somebody. It never happened to me, and to be totally honest, realistically, it never will. I'll never be 3, 4, 5, 10, 12 days away from anybody in society, ever, probably, never. So in all honesty, this stuff I'll probably never use. I do it because there again, I do believe that my psychological issues make me prone to this type of stuff. Just like my martial arts, I think that in truth, my so-called paranoia, I think is part of the reason why I'm into it, along with my depression and my bipolar. I think that lends some to the fact that I like this kind of stuff. Now, as I said, I truly don't think that I'll ever have to use it for an extended period of time. Natural disasters, I've been in a few minor ones. I've been in snowstorms in Indiana here that's blocked us in for a week. No electricity, no heat, no way of getting outside your door for a week. Even a normal, non-prepared person can last a week in a situation like that. And I don't believe that if anything does occur, it's going to be a natural occurrence anyway. So I jump around a lot. That's another issue I have. I kind of jump from here to there to here to there, and that's the way my brain works, and that's just how I am. So I'm going to jump. I made some notes about what I wanted to discuss, and basically, the so-called end of the world scenario, what will it be? So basically, you got two choices. It's either going to be a natural occurrence or it's going to be a man-made occurrence. Now, there's a lot of stuff, subheadings within those two categories. A natural occurrence could be anything: floods, earthquakes, hurricanes, typhoons, anything you could possibly imagine. Freak ice storm that lasts forever. Watch any of these end of the world movies. Volcano. It could be anything. But in truth, if something like that occurs, there's nothing that us as humans, Violet, stop. That's Violet. Come here, girl. Come on. Yes. She relaxes me. She really does. Yes. Oh. But anyway, natural occurrences, there's nothing we're going to be able to do to stop something like that. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And if you look at our planet as a whole throughout history and time, I mean, like from the beginning until whenever it ends, natural occurrences, drastic occurrences happen all the time. We've had several ice ages. We're going to have a few more, I'm sure. Will humans be here? Hey, stop. Will humans be here when it happens again? Maybe. Stuff like, quit. It's enough. Hold. Hey. So anyway, will that kind of stuff happen? Sure. I'm sure it will. I personally believe that in truth, if something does occur, it's going to be man-made, and it's going to be takeover by the government. That's my personal opinion. War could occur, here or elsewhere, and that could affect things. Invasion, it could happen. There's no way of really predicting that kind of stuff, especially with the way the world is going now. It could happen. I personally think it's going to be us, as far as our government, just tightening the reins even more, and they've done it for forever. We haven't been a free country since the 20s. The Great Depression. Our government sold its people to get out of the Great Depression. We are owned the way they believe. We are owned by our government, and birth certificate is nothing more than ownership papers. It's a stock. And when I heard a politician on TV saying that it wasn't money and finances and stuff like that that kept the government, financially stable. It was its people, and he wasn't lying when he said that, because the people are the money. But jumping, we'll get away from that. So I really do believe that it'll be some sort of restriction by the government, that just finally they're going to get tired of pretending that the people have control, and they're just going to tell us all to piss off, and they're just going to take complete control openly. And I do believe that will happen, maybe in my lifetime, but I'm really concerned about my kids and my grandkids. Really, is the whole situation. Like I said, I'm pushing 50. I've got 15 to 20 years of decent living left, and then I've got probably another 10 years of living without the ability to really do anything. So as far as I'm concerned, my life is on the downspout. I'm going downhill from this point on. And some people may not like to hear that or believe it, but I'm 50 by no means is old. But thinking realistically, if something were to happen today, and we had to literally bug out or bug in and live the lifestyle that the preppers are preparing for, I'm 50 years old. My body is tore up, really. My knees don't work anymore. My ankles are janked up. I've had two knee surgeries, broken ankle jumping out of planes, separated shoulder. The aches and pains that my body go through at this point are tremendous. And I live in a society that doesn't really affect my living with all these injuries and pains and aches. But if I had to live that kind of lifestyle, it would affect me, and it would affect everybody around me. I'd still do it. I'd do it to the day I died, and I would do it the best that I possibly could. But it would still affect me, and I would have been more prepared physically in my 20s and 30s, but I wouldn't have been prepared skills-wise. Now, in my 40s and 50s, I'm prepared skill-wise, but my body's just kaput. It's pretty much done when it comes to that situation. But to be totally honest, as I said before, I don't think I'll ever have to worry about it. Even if it happened today, I really don't think I'd have to worry about it, for the simple fact that people like me, before it becomes a grand open scheme, people like me are going to be picked up and placed into camps anyway. They're definitely not going to want to deal with a person like myself, who will defend themselves and defend those that he cares about. So before something like that happens, they're going to gather up people like me, and if they can, and either put us in camps or just outright kill us. So, to be totally honest, I don't really think I'm going to have to deal with it, because if they capture me, they're going to have to kill me. It's just how it's going to be. And I guarantee I'm going to take a few of them with me. But if they do get me, and, then what am I going to do? sit in a prison for the rest of my life, or they're just going to kill me. Either way. At this point, I don't really care. If I get captured, they might as well kill me. Plain and simple. So, how to avoid being targeted is an interesting topic. And first of all, don't do this. I mean, let's be honest. And we're going to stop right here, and then we'll continue in the next episode. Thank you for watching Bentley's Backwoods Bushcrafting.